Welcome back to my channel. So we're about to begin the creation of this particular call center dashboard we have right in here. So previously we've just looked at the overview. But right now we're going to be starting the creation from the scratch. So let's see how we can actually get to create this from the scratch, and I believe you're going to enjoy everything we have right in here for you guys. So now let's take a look at how to start to create this right now. And if you want to see the Power BI version, we have the Power BI version of the same dashboard right here. Let me take you to the home page and let you see what is going on right on the home page. So now we have a lot of things going on right on Power BI version. So just stay tuned to watch the Power BI and Excel version as we keep creating from the scratch. So right now we're going to be starting with the Excel version, and we're going to be starting right from here to create all this particular nice visual we're looking at right here. So now we want to start to create this. So how do we get the data right here? So the data is not like our usual Excel data, how we get data, but we actually use what we call Power Pivot and the module to get its data and to actually have the relationship being coordinated together. The very first thing I'm going to do right now is just to make sure I insert a new blank Excel template or workbook whatsoever. Okay, now that we've gotten this particular workbook inserted, the first thing we're going to do right now is just for we to actually import our data. And we're going to be importing this data into what we call Power Query. We want to use Power Query to get this data right in here. Okay, right now I'm going to click on what? I'm going to click on this particular data right here, and from there I'm just going to go to get more data. I'm going to click on this particular file. I'm going to see Excel right here, so I'm going to click on Excel, and I'm going to take us to our file where we can actually get to see what we're looking for. So I'm going to click on my desktop. So to navigate to where I have it right now, I'm going to go right on this particular dashboard. I'm going to go to call center dashboard, and here we go. We have this right here. Here's this particular one we've seen, and this is the raw data right here. I'm going to double click it and have it to actually get to our Power Query. Welcome to the Power Query environment. So this is what we have right in here. So if I actually go ahead right now, I'm gonna see that we're having the overview of the data we have in each tables we have right here. So what are the tables we really want to use? So when I use this particular table, so first of all I just want to import this. Okay, let me import the biggest one that we're not gonna have. We're gonna have a little challenges to actually get it some kind of transform, and I'm gonna transform it live for you to see what it is that you need to do if you have this kind of data. I'm going to go ahead right now and actually click on transform data right here. As you can see, we have this particular transform data. What it does is this: if we just say load, it's going to load to Excel, or it's going to load to the module whatsoever. But right now we're not loading, we're just actually going to transform. So it's actually coming up. It's going to take a little while. So right now we almost have it. And there we go, we have something like this, and the data is not in any way clean, so which means we have to do a little work to actually have our data some kind of clean to be used to actually get the analysis we really want from it. Okay, the first thing we're going to do right now is that we have some null value right here. So if you actually run this analysis for anybody or any company whatsoever, try to know what the nulls are actually all about. So now when we go across this, we have the null all true, which means the null is some kind of crazy column whatsoever in the Excel version. So what about how do we get this away from here? So we want to get this away from here right now. Let's see the first step we're going to actually follow to get this away. The first thing you're going to do right now is just for you to remove rows. I'm going to say top rows, and I'm going to have this little pop-up right now. So this is what I have. So how many rows do you want to remove? So I want to get 2 rows away from here. Right now you can see 1, 2. That is exactly what we need to do. We have to remove the 2. I'm going to type into and go ahead and click OK. As I click OK, watch what happens right here. It will add a new step right for us. So mistakenly, if we click on 3, or if we actually added 3 and it removes the header for us, we can actually go ahead and redeem that right here. So right now we've just gotten that, but we don't have the header at the right spot. So what do? Just go ahead and use this particular feature right here that says use first row as header. Click on it. And this is what we have. We have the header right on it the way it should be, and now we are almost good to go, but not really too good to go. Let's see what we can do next, because we still have some nulls right here. I've told you, you must make sure you know what the nulls are all about, but because I know my data, I know that we need to just flush these nulls away from here. So what are we going to do? Click on any of this particular part right here and locate the nulls. Actually make sure you deselect it and click on OK. So right now we have it. That is beautiful. We just have this. Wow, that is nice. So what are we gonna do again? So we still have more to get done. What do we need to do right now is just to scroll all the way through to the end and see if we have any problem. Now we have some columns with null value. How do we get it out? So all you need to do is just click on this one. In case you have like 10 to 15, you can start clicking one by one on it. Just make sure you hold your shift key and click on the last one, and actually make sure you tap on your mouse and you have it highlighted. So right now I want to get it away from here. What do? When we say what, now we mistakenly want to actually say remove column, but we said remove other columns. Look at what we have. You're gonna be some kind of fritter, like what is going on? How do I redeem this? It's very easy. Just go ahead and actually make sure you cancel it and you get your data back for you, and you just write back to this particular part. You want to have something removed, click on this, hold your shift key and have it clicked, and right click on it. Right now this time around when I remove this, and it's gone along. So we have our data the way we really wanted it, and it's as clean as what we really wanted. That is beautiful, nicely. Now what are we gonna do? We want to actually take this data down to what? Down to our Excel environment, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to have this Excel directly into Excel. Instead, we want to actually make sure it goes into the module. So right now I'm going to say, okay, go back to home. I'm going to go to this particular close, and instead of to say close and load, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say close and load to. So what was going to happen when I say close and load to? Is not going to load to the Excel environment. Instead, it's going to load to somewhere else we call module. So let's find out what it is. Okay, nicely, we have this little pop-up right here that tells us where the Excel is about to get into. Now I'm going to click on what? Click on add this data to the module. And after I might have done that, so we're not really done with what we need to do. So I'm going to say, okay, for now, I want you to actually say only create connection. That is what it is. So we're not going to see our data as usual on normal Excel sheet, but somewhere. So what am I going to do? I'm going to say okay right now, and I'm going to have this, and it's going to just get itself loaded right in here. Let us give it some time and see what we're going to have. Okay, we have 1525 rows loaded in here, and this is the preview of what we have. And if we want to edit it, we can actually go ahead and edit, and if we want to actually delete it, we can click right here to have it edited, to have it deleted whatsoever. You can scroll through to see what we have. If we have any error, we can fix it. Don't worry, we'll be back right on this particular part to have something fixed in no time. So that is the first part of what we need to do. Secondly, we have to go back again, and this time around I want to actually go say data, and from the same place I actually got the data from is where I want to go back to it again and actually bring that on again. So we are right there, almost right there. So now this time around I want to get data for what? For agent, and I have it. I'm just going to say okay, just load direct to the module, because I actually just create connection load to. I know it's some kind of clean, so we don't have to do anything. The same thing we had done, add this data to the module and what? Create only connection. So we just have to click on that, and this time around we have to load it, and it's actually loading down to this particular aspect. So we'll do the same thing to the third one, and we have our data gradually down to where we really wanted it to be, and we start the analysis the way it should be. So this time around we need to get for the team leader. So this is just the field that we have. Go right here, we don't have to click anything, and actually make sure you go right in here and load to. So we do the same thing. So we're gonna have the third part of it right in here. So beautifully we have it. So what is the next step we can actually take to start analyzing our data? This is more professional way. If you have big data, you can control it this way. So watch me do the next step right now. So the next step is going to be manage data module. So I'm going to click on that and see how we can actually get it managed. Okay, it's taking a little while. Okay, now here we are. This is exactly what it is. So we're going to be doing a lot right here. In case you've not been to this particular area before, now we are right in this environment, and it helps to control millions of rows of data in case you want to use Excel to analyze such millions of rows of data and all of that. So now we can see we have the agents right here. If we click on it, we can see now we have the agents, and we have what? We have the team leaders. So right now, what are we going to do with this particular part we are just right in? So let me show you what we're going to do. We need to create what we call relationship. And how do we create a relationship? It's very simple. We go down to this particular aspect. We have what? We'll have, okay, I'm going to go right here. We'll have this particular diagram view. Just click on that particular diagram view and see what is going to happen. So now we have the diagram view right here, and this is where we create a relationship. It's just like what we have on Power BI. So now if you watch this right on Excel, when we get to the Power BI environment to actually start creating this particular same dashboard in Power BI, it will be very, very simple and easy for you. So now we want to actually bring this down. This is our dimensional table. So for the fact table, we're going to actually bring this fact table up, and I'm going to say, okay, now you move this way. I'm going to move you this way. I'm going to put this fact table right on the middle, and here we go. So right now we need to create connection. And before we create connection, let's just go and look at something for you to understand why it's going on right here. So I'm going to go to what data view, and now we have the agents right here. These are the agents ID, and this is the team ID. And if we go to the agents, we have all the IDs for every single agent, and it has no duplicate. And the same thing to the team leaders, just 3 of them. So now we have them without any duplicate. So but we have lots of duplicates right on this. Let us make our connection. Go back to it right now. And now for the agent ID, make sure you're dragging the ID and look at where we have the agent ID right here. And we just go ahead and actually have it dropped. Okay, now we just connected it. So this is what we call one-to-many relationship. So now here is one, because one ID exists right here, but we have the ID to be some kind of duplicated itself over and over again. Depends on how many calls this particular agent actually has on the table, on the fact table. So right now we are right on the team leader. We just have to drag the ID of the team leader down to where we have the team leader's ID. Now we can see where we have it, and once we actually have that connected, it created one-to-many relationship as well. So this is beautiful. So now we are done from what we are here for. We can actually close this and start to utilize what really went. That is beautiful. Okay, now our data is going to be living right in here for as long as we want it, and as long as we have the dashboard to be some kind of utilized and stuff like that. So we can click on pivot table and say pivot table right here, and now we are getting away from the environment. So now we need to create a new pivot table, and it's asking us if we want the new or the new worksheet or the existing one. So let me just say for now I want a new one. I'm going to click on OK. It's going to default to a new one, and here we go. So we don't need this right now to be used. We can actually go ahead and close it. If we need it, we'll bring it up. Okay, here are the tables existing, right? Can you see that? These are the tables. We can see all the columns inside the tables, so we can see all that. So it's very much, interesting to have something like this. So we can go ahead and see what it is that we can do to start the creation right now. Now, you always know how I used to create my dashboard. I love to take the whole screen and stuff like that. So go to view and actually select the header, and as well the grid line will be turned off. But before we turn the grid line off, so let us do something right here. I'm gonna actually still put this one on as well to just help me with some guides. I'm gonna go right here and count 4 rows, bring it down to this particular end and make sure it's for all through. Okay, I'm gonna stop it this way. Now it is time to create our header color. So I'm gonna go ahead and choose this. I'm gonna choose word. I'm gonna choose something like this to be the color for the header. And I'm gonna go back right to view, and from view I'll have to deselect all this, and beautifully I have something like this. We are almost down to the main lane of the dashboard we're about to create. And now the next thing we're gonna do right now is just to go to the top level and hit on insert. Here we go, and go right down here, click on the text, and just pick this text and drag it all the way down and type in dashboard. So now we've just got in dashboard type things. So we have to change the look of this. I'm gonna go right to the top level right here. I'm gonna change our home. Okay, go ahead and make sure you drag it to where you can see what we have right in here. I'm gonna have it right here. I'm gonna go right on the top level. I'm gonna say okay. Right now it's gonna be on 24. I'm gonna change it to area black. Here we go for this. I want to change the color to make sure it's standard on my dashboard. I'm gonna go through with this particular kind of color as I start as I keep creating. So it's gonna be one of the colors I have on my dashboard. So it's not looking well on the white color right now, but don't worry, it's gonna look well on the next one. So we have it. I can actually drag it to the top level right here. It's looking some kind of weird. Control+1, and we have this. And we can just say okay, now for fill color we don't want the fill color, and for the outline color we do not want any outline color. We have it selected, and here we go. Beautifully, we have something like this. That is very nice, right? We are not going to be creating everything from the scratch, as the text area will be very easy for you to be created. So let's just go to the one we are replicating. So we want to get everything we have around here, like the icons, right on that particular new dashboard. Then we'll focus on analytics aspects and show you what it is that you need to do. So right now, those are the icons we've used, so we can actually get this icon and actually use it the way you really wanna. I've just gotten it cup here. When I go back and hit the new workbook we are actually using for the creation, so right here I'm gonna have it dropped, and this is what we have. So we just want to actually make sure it sits right to where we want it to actually sit. So I'm just gonna drag it a little bit down to this particular end. I think I'm gonna be cool with something like this. I'm really cool with this. So now beautifully we have something just like this. So instead of we to start creating this and actually wasting much more time, we just can do it like this. But one thing is actually not really sure, because this has to be linked to a particular cell. This is not dynamic right now. I'm going to turn on my I'm going to turn on my formula bar, and right now if you look at this, it's not looking into any cell right here. So right now we need to actually see how we can make this dynamic to be changing every single time. So go to your go to this sheet. I'm going to name this sheet analysis. So analysis. So we have this to be analysis right here. When I create the formula for today, okay, so today, so have it closed and hit it, and it gives us the date for today. I'm going to Control+1 to make sure I change the formatting to what I really wanted. So here we go, and right here I'm going to go for what I'm going to go for custom, not custom. I think I can go on date, and I can actually decide to use this particular type of date if I really wanna. There are so many one of it you can actually get to use, but I want to use what I just have selected right now. I'm gonna click OK right here, and if we go back right now, this is what we have. So we can actually hit back to this sheet right here, and we go back to this particular part, and we have to select this. And once you have actually done the selection, make sure you fill this in here equal to. We go back here and we go right to the top level, and we hit this and we say okay, and now we have this. So it is time for we to format this the way we really want it. So what we can do right now, I can actually go ahead and highlight it, and just make sure we give it a highlight. Once we give a highlight, this side to actually go right to the top level right here to actually have it formatted is all yours. So we can actually go ahead and do the formatting. So just make sure you actually make it some kind of bolder, and we want to give it some kind of font that is not that it's gonna look some kind of filled and stuff like that. So something like this is really cool. This is what we've gotten. Every single day is going to change to the current date that your system carries. Okay, right now I want to go right to the top level right here, go to view again, and from view I want to turn this on. I want to turn this on right now. I just want to make sure I move this, but if I move it, something is going to be some kind of messing up right here. Can you see that? Is moving, so I don't want that to go some kind of move. I'm just going to click on this, and after I've done that, I'm going to Control A right now to make sure I highlight every single shape we have in right here, and from there Control+1 will help me to bring this up. And if I have this up, what am I going to do? I'm going to hit on this particular part right here and say properties, click on properties and say don't move or size with cell. That is beautiful. I'm going to have it closed right now and go ahead and do what I really wanted. This time around, I'm just going to make sure I go right here and actually have it this way, and that is beautiful. So now the images are not in any way moving. Okay, the next we're gonna do right now, I want to select like 3 cells from down to this particular end here, the 3 cells. I want to drag it all the way down right here. Make sure it's all 3. So after we have done that, go ahead and change the color to something different. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this particular kind of white background, which is dark 5% white. Just click on it and you see it adds a little some kind of flavor to what we're doing. That is nice. So what is the next thing we can actually do right now to get it the way we really wanted it? So if you look at what we have right here, we have those icons and this particular, yellow stuff right here. So let's just go ahead and actually add this particular kind of format to ours. So what we can do right now is just to go to the top level, go to insert, from insert, click on these illustrations. Right now, we're going to go to shapes, and from shapes, we're going to pick this. I'm going to drag it all the way a little smaller as this, out of that. Make sure I go zoom and actually make sure it's some kind of right here. I'll make it smaller to make sure it's some kind of stays right here, all of that. So Control 1 will help me to get the kind of format I really wanted. So right now I'm going to go right on this particular same color we've used previously, and that is for the line. So I don't want for the line, I'm going to take it off. I'm going to go right for this. I'm going to choose this same color we've used previously, and now here we go. So we just duplicate it and actually have this closed, and I'm going to move the duplicate once I have this finally closed. I'm going to move the duplicate down to this particular end and have it right here as well. So beautiful. This actually helps us to get some kind of very nice, looking part of the dashboard. So we are almost right on it. So the next we can do right now is just to make sure we have some icons right here. Okay, right now I've just gotten the icon copied. So let us go back to our main work. I'm gonna have it pasted right in here. So all I need to do right now is just to make sure I move it down to the top level right here, just to make sure it sits right where we really wanted it to be. So I think I'm gonna be cool with something like this. That is nice. I'm gonna move it a little bit. Here we go. We have something like this nicely. So we're almost right in it. I'm so sorry if I don't have this created from the scratch, because I don't want to actually make a very long video. I just want to make it short. So we are right here. We've just gotten the interface ready, and it is time for we to just go on analysis. So guys, in case I have not introduced you to DAX in Excel, so we're about to write some DAX to get something right on our dashboard. Okay, let us see how we can use DAX to do this. So the first we're going to do is that we want to know how many records we have right on our data. So what we can do right now, go to Power Pivot right here. When you click on Power Pivot, go to this particular measures. So click on the measure for we to create a new measure. And for we to create a new measure, we have this right here. We're going to utilize this to create a new measure. So the first we're going to do right now, we're going to create a new measure. And what is the measure name? It's going to be total records. Total records. So how do we get that? So we're going to use what we call count rows. Count rows is actually a DAX function. So we have count rows, and for we to count the rows in on our data on our table, we have to use the table name, and the table name is actually data. So I'm going to show you what I'm trying to do right now. I'm going to have it closed. After I've done that, you want to have to check like, is this really okay? Go ahead and actually make sure you perform that particular error checking right here. Just click on this check formula, and it's going to tell you no error in formula. We are good to go. So we'll actually make sure we format this into number, not currency, and remove the extra decimal from it and put a separator. And this is what we really have to use. So you can actually see what we have more right here. So is it on decimal but on a whole number? That's exactly what it is. So I'm going to say okay right now. I just hit okay. Let's see what's going to happen. So if we go back right now to our analysis, we'll definitely see that we've just gotten something analyzed, and we've created a new measure right here. So let us go down and see the new measure we've just gotten created. So now the measure is different than any other part of the columns right here. So it's a measure, it carries fx, and in Power BI it's going to carry a little calculator or sign or whatsoever or icon. But right now this is the measure we've just gotten created. I'm just going to actually make sure I commit that, and this is what we have. We don't need to format it again because already we had formatted it before for Brent right here. Okay, now for this first one we've just gotten done. This is beautiful, very nice, very nice. So let us see what we can do next. All right, in case I've not introduced you to this, I'm about to introduce you to something very important right now. Here are what we really want to actually get to calculate. calls handles, average handle times, transfer, offers, and all of that onto the last one right here. And you can see the definition of every single pair. In case you don't understand what we call breakage, you can see percentage of calls or calls where an offer was not applied. That's exactly what it is. So we're gonna actually have to use this. What I'm gonna do right now is just to make sure I have this copied away from here. I'm gonna copy it. So we're gonna take this down to our dashboard so that we can actually follow it step by step to see how we can actually achieve something just like this. So we have to paste this right in here. I'm gonna have it pasted. So once I've done that, I'm gonna have to open it up to see what we have. And I think I'm gonna have to make sure I have it zoomed so that we can see it better. Now when we come right here, we'll definitely see what we have right in here on the screen very much. Okay, nicely we have something like this. What next can we do? So let us calculate total calls handled. And how do we do that with DEX? Okay, maybe this time around you might want to take it to where we have our data right in. So in the Power Pivot, so we have it. So we can see we have our total calls right here. Here are the call column. I just want to make sure you understand what is going on right with analysis. So we can now go ahead and actually start to create that. So we go back right here and we click on this. We go right here and we're going to go back and actually make sure we go on the measure. And I'm going to click on this particular new measure, and this is the most simplest part of it, so don't worry, when we get to the complicated part I'll make sure I explain better. So I'm going to say total calls. So total calls, so what we need to do is just to come right here and just use the sum function. So using sum function right now, I'm going to put in my call right here. Those are the calls. Can you see that? Look at it again. So some functions is going to be looking for what? For calls, and the column is this. Here's the column of the call that we received, and all our agents just received and all of that. So, and where I'm getting this from is actually from what? From data. Those are the tables existing, but we want to actually make sure our measure is being created right in here. But if we want to actually create our measure in the new table, we can go ahead and do that. But what if we actually like put our measure right under this particular agent? Is it going to be okay? But let's just have it this way. So check it up. Nothing is going on. So I'm going to say whole number. And I'm going to save right here. It's not a decimal, it's the whole number right here. Put a separator on it, and beautifully we have it done. So we're just going to go and check it out and see what we've just gotten created. So let's see what we've just done. So go to analysis, and we're going to check it out and see what we have. So right here we have the total calls right in here. We've just gotten it over 50,000 total calls, and we can now check again and see what we have to get to create next. Okay, to get this average handle time created right now, we still have to go back and go and create a new measure. Go to new measure right here. So before we do that, I'm gonna actually, I don't have to type over and over again. I can actually go ahead and copy this to be my header. So it's gonna be my, it's gonna be the title of what I'm gonna create right now. I'm gonna go right here and actually have it. So we just have to paste this right here. I'm gonna paste it right here, and now it's time to just get it the way we really want to have it. Okay, what we have to do first is just to sum the handle time for the first time. I'm gonna say sum, I'm gonna say handle. So here is the handle time right here. This is handle time. So I'm gonna say sum the handle time. I'm gonna have it closed, and once I've just gotten this done, I'm gonna go right here and just say, okay, it's gonna be number, and the handle time is gonna be on decimal, or like a whole number, sorry, a whole number, and we just want to put a separator right on it, and that is just for the handle time. Okay, now we just have to change this header a little bit. Average handle time in not average handle time, but this is going to be named total, sorry for that, total handle time. I want to put of this particular part right here. So it's going to be total handle time right now. So I'm going to click on OK. And once I've done that right now, let's see what's going to happen. I want to actually make sure we have another new measure created again. It's a new measure. So now we're about to just get to create what we are here for. Now I can actually average handle time. I'm gonna make sure it's gonna be on this. So now what I'm gonna do for that particular one we have right there, we're gonna be using what we call divide function right here. I'm gonna say divide. Okay for that. So sorry for that. I'm gonna say total. Okay, I think average. So this average. Okay, now we need to use this divide function. So I'm gonna say divide. So right here I'm gonna use this divide function. Now we just created our total average time. So I'm gonna go on the total. Do I have that? Is it like that? Okay, I think it's just gonna be average is what I actually have created. We just want to check what it is that we just got created. So I'm gonna actually make sure I have this right here, and that total record and all of that. We don't have it again. I forgot the measure I've just got created. So right now, let me just go and check what the measure is all about. Guys, I'm sorry, it always happens like this. So you have to remember the name of the measure we have created. So I'm just gonna go all the way down. I'm gonna check if it is actually right here. Now total records, and let's check what it is all about. We don't know what this is. We can't really go right and see what it is. We can now go ahead and actually say, okay, now let us have it edited to see what we have right here, to see if at all we've not named that particular average pad. And I'm just going to right click on it. So once you right click, you can see edit measure, and it's going to pop out. So now total handle time right here was not named at the right pad we should have it named. So right now we put that on description. That was why we could not find it to be used. So what we need to do right now is just to make sure we cut it away from here and come right here on this particular measure pad and have it drop. Sometimes I love making mistakes because I would learn from it. So right now I made this mistake and I teach you how to do this if this really happens. So we edit back our measure. So we go down, we click on OK right here. We have to commit that. And now if we come to the top level, we just got it. So now we can go ahead and actually make sure we go back right here. And before we do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and actually copy the kind of name I want to have right on the particular pad. So I just want to make sure it's gonna be this. I want to use this one as my title. So we go back to analysis and make sure we want it to be some kind of automatic right on this. Just make sure you have it clicked. So go around the measure pad, click on new measure, and now that we are on new measure, so we just have to paste the measure name right here. So now we can now use the divide function to get what we really wanted. So divide, okay, total average time. So by, it's gonna be with comma, that is the denominator. So what is by what? By total calls. By total calls. So we get the average time. And now we just want to see, okay, what would be the alternative if there is nothing to divide with? So just give me 0. I'm going to have it closed right now. Let us do the error checking. And now once we've just done the error checking, it's going to tell us no error formula whatsoever. So now this is what it is. So I want to just make sure I have it in number, and I'm going to have it on separator to decimal. Yeah, let's have it on decimal number, no problem. So we're going to just make sure we go like this on 1 decimal. It's gonna be okay. Click on OK here. Let's see what we have right now. Can you see that? This is average time handle and stuff like that. So this is beautiful. We are almost right on it the way it should be. So we can go back, click on this one right here. So now we want to see how many calls were transferred. How many calls were transferred? This is what we need to create. So now before we do that, we want to calculate the total transfer of calls and find the percentage of the transfer calls out of that. So we can see right here what we have right in here. Percent of calls that resulted in transfer out, which means they can't handle it in that particular organization, so they have to transfer it to another unit or whatsoever. So for we to do that right now, what we can do right now, we have to make sure we calculate our total transfer. So now we're gonna calculate total transfer before we get a percentage of how many calls are being transferred. And for we to do that, we can actually search the column and see where we have transfer. So when I use the sum function and we just type in transfer, so we can see the transfer right here. So we're gonna go ahead and actually click on this, and we have it closed. Check the formula, make sure it's correct. No problem. So we're gonna just go ahead and say number, and now we're gonna choose the whole number right here, this whole number, and now we can put a separator right on it, and we're gonna click OK. So quickly we can actually go ahead and click and see what we have right here. So we can see over 3,000 calls were transferred. And the next thing we're gonna do right now is just to make sure we get a percentage of the calls that were transferred as the question that is being asked. So if we don't branch to the particular aspect, there is no way we can get it. So right now I'm gonna put on percentage, give it space, and percentage of total transfer is right here. Oh, right here, we're gonna actually use the same divide function right here and say total transfer, which is this particular, go scroll down. So it's total transfer right here. We're gonna divide it by total calls. Then alternative is gonna be 0. We close it. And this time around, we're gonna go right down and say, okay, give me a whole number. And right we come down, what we go on percentage and just 1 extra decimal, all of that. So we don't need to put some kind of, we don't need anything like separate right at it. So let's check it out and see what we have. Okay, right here we have it. So we should have it. So let's go to the percentage. So we're gonna drag it in. Yeah, okay, fine. So we have it is 7.4% of what of the total calls received was some kind of transferred. We can handle this. We have to transfer this to another unit, so you will definitely get transferred. So you receive calls, you make calls, you understand what's going on when you call the call center, all of that. So that's exactly what it is. So now we have to branch to something else. What is it that we want? So offer, percentage of offers made on calls. When you make a call, how many offers do they make every single day? We want to calculate the percentage and all of that. So how do we do that? Let us see how we can branch into that. Okay, right on our pivot right here, we have what we call call with offers. Now, if you look at the total calls right here, is 31, and the 31 has offers, right? And we have this particular one to be some kind of 31 as well, but only 26 has what has offers right on it, and we can see all that. So this is exactly the column we're going to be using right now, so we can actually go ahead and actually calculate that. So let's see what we can do to have it calculated. So we go over ahead and actually get to do this. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I move it down this way. Go ahead and create a measure, create a new measure right here, and we can just call this some kind of call with an offer. So once we've just called that call with an offer, we can now submit. So we submit, and like say call with calls with offers. So we can see it right here. We have calls with offers right here. Just double click it and have it closed. This time around, we can do a checking just to make sure we are safe from some kind of error, and it's going to be whole number. And once we've just done that, please separate it right at it, and we can actually hit OK. So right now, you know what it is. It is time for we to create a percentage of call with an offer and see how much the percentage does it really add, all of that. So go ahead and do that. So we just go ahead, and now we just have to make sure put our percentage to differentiate that. So percentage call with an offer, the same way we had used to get percentage before. Now so we're gonna do, so we use the divide function, and now we just want to go call with offer. So here we have it. So we go right on it, divided by total calls, and 0, have it closed. And now I have done the error checking, so I want to go right on number, and I'm going to put it on percentage from here. So time saving 1 decimal, and click on OK. Let's see what we have right here. So we can see we have this particular 92% with an offer. Boom, that is nice. So let's go ahead and see what is next right on what we're doing. So we have offer. What about apply? Let's see what apply is all about. For apply, it says percentage of applied on accepted calls. What the heck are you talking about? So we have that as a column as well. We can go ahead and use that column, but let's take a look at the column we're trying to get something right from now. Now we have calls with acceptance right here. Call with offer, call with acceptance, what it is. So let's go ahead and actually see again, call with acceptance. Now when call actually came in, how many calls were picked and how many were abandoned? That was not some kind of picked. As of time you call the call center, like the customer care, they just pick a call. It's been recorded. So you want to calculate how many are there right now. So for that, we can actually go ahead and copy this away from here. Accepted, we go copy it, go right here and go ahead and actually go. Okay, I'm gonna go straight to what? Go straight to my analysis and make sure I have this actually some kind of clicked, and go back to the top level right here and see how we can do that. So we have to. Okay, this time around, I'm gonna clear this away from here, and I'm gonna get the percentage right away from here. Okay, so here I'm gonna say total. So now we just have to calculate because we have the column already existing. Total, I'm gonna say so here it's gonna give me calls with acceptance. So I'm gonna have it closed, check it if there is no error, nothing. So go on the whole number, right here, click on the whole number, and put on the decimal and hit on OK. So quickly, we don't have to waste any of our time right here. Let's just go ahead and create the percentage of it. So it's just like the former way. We can actually get to do that right here and put that percentage. So I want my percentage to come first. So we just go on a percentage right here, and we can see how we can actually make a division. Okay, no difference from what we had been doing. So I had done it, so we can just go ahead and actually commit it and see what it is we have right here. So we've just gotten that. So let's see what are those particular calls with acceptance. I'm gonna scroll all this way to this end and see what it is. So right now, if you look at it, we have 69% of our calls were accepted. What if we want to calculate how many calls were not accepted? I think I did that in Power BI. Okay, let me still remind you, if you're still watching, we have this Power BI part right here to be some kind of very much dynamic. So we're going to be doing this. If you're still watching, keep watching to have the Power BI experts right here, some kind of created together as well as we keep going. So let's bounce back to Excel environment. Okay, right here on Excel environment, we just have to go right and see we have this particular one called applied. So we just calculated acceptance, and now it's applied. So what can we do? Let's go ahead and create this. So we're gonna hit back here. I'm gonna have to make sure I have this clicked. I'm gonna go on the measure, and here we go. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just say total or sum of what? I'm gonna say sum of apply. So we're gonna check it out and see where we have apply. So calls of applied, and here we go. We're gonna go ahead with this, and we're just gonna click it. Okay, close. So total applied. So that is exactly what it is. So we're gonna go on number. We don't need to check it out because we know it's correct. So go on the whole number and click on this and have this and all that. Okay, right now here's the percentage of applied, just like what we had done before. Total applied by total calls, and we have it 1%, and we can say okay right here, we get it. So we can go down, we can see 49%, all of that. So now let's just go ahead and see what it is that we have to get into again. Now breakage. Oh my goodness, what the heck is breakage? Let me tell you what it is. So right now we have percentage of calls where an offer was not applied. What the heck are they talking about? How can we do this? But well, it's easy. Let's go ahead and do that. So now I'm going to copy this away from here. I want to calculate my breakage and see what it is. So right now, for the first time, how do I get to do this breakage type of thing? We're just going to go ahead and try to do that. Okay, I think the breakage is a little bit some kind of, something we have to be technical about. So I'm going to go ahead and actually click on measure and see what we can do to get this particular measure created. So right now I'm going to go ahead and paste the breakage I have right here. I'm going to put percentage right in here because straight up we're going to be creating a percentage without we have to branch anywhere. And what we can do right now, we can actually do this. I'm going to open my bracket. I'm going to see calls. Okay, I'm going to actually have to open this particular curly brace. I'm going to look for call with acceptance and see what it is. So we look at where we have call with acceptance. I can actually go ahead and type acceptance right here. So total acceptance right here. Now I'm going to minus it from what? Applied. So we have total applied, and I'm going to have it closed. I'm going to divide it by what? By total calls with acceptance. So you just get it. So that is kind of amazing. What the heck are you doing? That's a question you're asking? Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing right here. I said total accepted calls minus applied and divided by what? By total acceptance. Would definitely give you some kind of breakage. Okay, don't ask me too much questions. So we're going to go ahead right now and see if this is really correct. I'm going to check it out. No errors. So we can go right here. I say number, and from there I'm going to choose my percentage right here because I'm going for percentage. Just one decimal point. I'm going to click on OK. Let's see if that is really correct. So we can go ahead and see the breakage is 28%. Oh my goodness. We can go back to what? Go back to this particular sheet and see what it is again that we want to create. Next, we want to create this particular one called apply per call. Apply per call, percentage of calls that had an apply offer. Okay, let's see what we can do. I'm gonna copy this away from here. It will be very easy for me to create this with very swift step. I think right now I'm going to tell you firsthand that I don't know what I'm about to get into, but I want to actually make sure I visit my pop pivot right here and see what the heck are we talking about. So you can see calls with applied, calls offer applied, all of that. So maybe this is what it's going to be. So let us go back and see what it is again we have. So they said, what? Apply per calls percentage. Apply per calls percentage of calls that had an applied offer. Okay. Right. I'm gonna go back again. And here is it. We have this call with offer, call with acceptance, and calls offer applied. I think this is what we are trying to get into. This is what we're gonna use. So can we see that? Call with applied offer is what we're gonna use. So let's see how we can do that. So but before then, I can assure you that we can do this from here. We can create our measure from here. In case you've not done this before, we can definitely create our measure all the way from here. Let's see how we can do that. I'm going to shift this all the way up so we can see all the measure we've just created. They are all here. Can you see that? So let me just go ahead and actually make sure you see this better. Can you see it? I'm going to actually, that's all the measure we've created through our other side is very swift. It gives us some kind of flexibility, but we can create the same thing right straight up from here. Can you see how we can actually get that created right now? Let us do our creation right here and show you everything you need to know. Okay, now what we have to do is just for we to some kind of have our cursor right to where we want to actually have it become some kind of default to. This is where we want to have it some kind of calculated to. So we go back right here and this is where we get into. And now what we need to do is for we to get the total. Let us go and see what we're trying to get into. Call with offer. Okay, now total call with offer, I'm gonna say equal to some kind of okay, I'm gonna name it for total calls with offers. So now I'm gonna put my equal to right here in Excel, in Power BI with your equal to. You can start to write your function, but right here it's not gonna work. So you just have to put this particular, oh, beautiful. This is what it is. So you need to have these two darts, I don't know what they call it, whatever. So you need to have this column whatsoever before you start typing it. So now I'm gonna say sum, and once I just type in my sum, we can start to write what really want to actually use right here. This is exactly what it is. Okay guys, I think the semicolon comes first. So I'm gonna put my equal to right here. Now if I type my sum, you can see it's coming up because I really wrote it correctly. Previously I actually flopped, but right now we are right on it. So now I'm gonna actually say, okay, now what am I going to sum? I want to sum total calls with offer. So now calls with offer, here we go. Calls with offer, we just get it. I'm gonna have it closed, and that's exactly what I need to do, right? I'm gonna say, okay, nicely, we've just got it done. So now the same thing we had done previously, I'm gonna put on it on okay, now we don't need to go on percentage. I'm really sorry for using percentage right here. I'm gonna go on on whole number. So we go down to see what we've just done. So we have it on whole number, but what about it separated right on it? So we just want to go right here and put a comma separated right on it, and here we go, we have it. So I'm gonna go to the next one. Now it is time for we to create a percentage. So for we to create a percentage, I can go right here and I can actually copy this, go down here, and now we need to create a percentage. So I'm gonna put my percentage sign right in here, go here and actually say, okay, fine, we gotta go and put in our divide function the same way we had been doing before now. I'm gonna say total, and we just have to locate total calls with offer, and we're gonna divide that with total calls. Yeah, total calls here are the total calls. Okay, now we just have to make sure we put our comma, and for the alternative result, if it defaults to 0, I think it went in 0. So now this is what it is. If I actually go ahead and hit okay right now, we're gonna have something like this. So when we go down, this is what we have. But right now we're not really, we have these huge numbers, and we can break it down by actually having it on percentage. Let's go back to the top level. I'm gonna click on my percentage, and if I go down right now, I have it on 92.60%. But now I'm gonna actually have to decrease it, and I can see what we have right here, 9.6%. Okay, fine, we are just good to go. We can go ahead and leave this environment right now and see what it is that we have. Okay, go, we can go. So we need to get a new measure. We just got it created right here. This is where we have it. So boom, we have it. Can you see that? Can you see that? It gives us exactly what we have right there. It's working for us. So glory. All right, let's just go to the next one and see what we have to create next. So next one, we go right here and this is gonna be the last one. Oh my goodness, I love this. I wish it's not some kind of going to an end. Okay, we want to start our visualization, but we want to see how many persons called back, or the percentage of persons that called back within 24 hours. Maybe they call, nobody actually applied, like picking the call and call back within 24 hours. How many are there? We just have to create that. So let's see what we have right here. Okay, now we have like, okay, percent of calls where customers call back within 24 hours. We're gonna go ahead and create this. So how can we do that? Very simple and easy. We just have to go to the right place. So put the cursor right here and go to the top level and see how we can just get to do that. So we just want to go right here. But before we do that, I want to show you something. This is the column we're going to be using. So you have to understand every single thing we have right here to make it some kind of very swift for you to understand. So we have what we call call region or whatever. You know, just scroll through and show you that column I'm talking about. Okay, we need to get a column right to see. Okay, here's the column we're gonna be using to get how many people calls back, how many people called back within 24 hours, this particular call region. So, but we don't want to use this particular aspect here. We just want to go right to this particular path. Go here, it's very much swift. Go here, and the total callback. So total callback right now, we just go right here. We just want to set some of what of call, go down. Here we go. Here is what we want to use. Have it closed. So we don't need to verify anything because we know it's really correct. So we can go ahead and actually say it's going to be a whole number right now. Let's put it on whole number, the extra decimal right on it. And here we go. We have to actually say okay to it and go back right now. And now we just have to create this percentage one here. We just have to copy this, go copy, and we go back here and we just make sure we are right on this and actually go back and just go ahead and actually say go with this. Okay, we're still recording. All right, now we can go ahead and actually make sure we have some kind of pasted in right here. And I just always love my percentage to come before this. So I'm gonna put my percentage right here, give it a space, and now we just have to do the same thing we had always been doing. So as you always know, we have just gotten this created just to make sure we have a shot of video and that. So we just gotten it ready. So what we can do right now, I'm gonna click on OK and let's go check it out. So if you're still watching, thank you for watching and keep watching because we're gonna be getting into the most amazing part of this dashboard right now. So I'm just gonna make sure I scroll all the way this down so you can see we have 19.8% of them as well. Interesting. The very part you're waiting for is right here. We just want to set for visualization and create this particular kind of table we have right here. You'll be like, what the heck are you doing? How did you create this table? I'm going to show you how I got it created, and it's very swift and easy. But right now, let us get those values right on our dashboard. Let us go to the one we are actually creating. So here we go. We're right here, and already we have just gotten this environment ready, and we just have to name this some kind of, oh God. Just gonna clear this away from here. Dashboard, beautiful. We have something like this. It's time to get the values. So what we can do, I'm just gonna make sure I highlight this and this and this as well and this. What I'm gonna do right now, keep holding your control and just make sure you tap on the what on your just make sure you double click and actually make sure you have it double down. Can you see what I'm doing? Oh goodness, that is exactly what it is. So we just actually duplicated this right now. It is time to get the values right here. Okay, the formula bar is not being turned on. I'm gonna go ahead and have the formula bar being turned on. Okay, here we go. We have the formula bar right here, right now. So here is our formula bar. For the first time, when I get the total records right in here. And how do we do that? We can actually make sure we go. Okay, we go down to the analysis page. Now we want to go for what? Total records. I'm gonna go all the way down to this level. So for the total records, I want to get it down here. Okay, so we have it. For the total calls as well, we're gonna get the total calls right in here. Just go down to analysis and get the total calls right there as well. We just got it. That's exactly what we need to do to have everything right here. There is one particular column we have not touched, but the column is not right on the particular data path. So it's just total agents. So how many agents do we have, picking and receiving our calls? So we want to actually get that. And how do we do that? It's very simple and easy. Let's go ahead and get it. So right here, I'm going to go right on this path right here, and I can go right to the particular, oh my goodness, go to Power Pivot. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to say, okay, click on this new measure. I'm going to type in total what? Total agents. Okay, what do we need to do? I'm going to say count rows. We want to use count rows right here. So count rows. And the rows we're going to count right now, I want to count rows for agent. I'm going to check it out to see what tables I have existing. Okay, the agent's on the agent table. I'm going to say count rows, and the agent table is what I want to get right here. So here we go. I'm going to have it closed. And now we want to make sure it's clean, and that is exactly what it is. So we'll put it on a whole number. So we have our separator right there, but it's not untitled. It's not some kind of very important. Okay, fine. We have just gotten that right now. So we can go back to a dashboard, and now we have something to be picked. So we just have to go right at the top level right here and make sure we highlight everything and put on an equal to and come down to this particular end. And now we have what we are looking for. I'm just going to scroll all the way this way. So total agents is 25. I have it picked. Okay, we've gotten every single values right here. As you can see, we have all of them right here, but we need a little formatting to just make sure we have something very nice right on it. So what can we do? As for this, I'm just gonna make sure I highlight every single thing right here to just apply the format right on it all at once. So I have the same formatting right on this one. I'm gonna go right here and go click on home, and from home I'm gonna actually make sure I have this particular kind of this yeah, Rockwell extra right here. Okay, I'm gonna put it on 20. Okay, on 20. I'm gonna go for the kind of yep. I want to go for something like this. Would be cool. We have something like this beautifully. So now can you see this? It's actually coming the way what I wanted it. So I'm just gonna make sure I have this one moved a little bit. So this time around I have something like this, and it's fine. So go ahead and actually check it to see what it is that you have. You can achieve. So if you look at the final one right here, is what we have. So just go ahead and actually make sure you walk through it. I hope you have it downloaded. Don't just follow along, create and have a very nice dashboard knowledge, all of that. So we can go back right here, and now I want to actually make sure I have this on different color. I don't know why, I just love this color for it. So I want to actually put this on this color right here, and now it is time for me to format this the way it should be. I've just gotten this one highlighted. So what I can do right now, I can actually make sure I go right to the top level right here, go to home, and from home we're going to just make sure we just have this one as we get about 16. I think I'm cool with that. I'm just going to go right here, and now I can select something like this. Wow. So this is exactly what it is. So this is what we need to do. I have just gotten this, and we are right on top of the main thing. So right now it's time for me to create our table, and this is beautiful. I love the table version aspect here. You can scroll all the way down, and the table doesn't go along with you. You can see what we have out there. So now we are almost at the far end of this particular first pet, and this is very beautiful. Let's see how we can create this. Okay, let us go to the analysis sheet. So we are right here. I'm gonna actually make sure I scroll all the way down to this end, and we can start to create what we really want from here. Okay, I can go back and actually go right here, go to the top level, because we still want to keep the connection tight. So I want to make sure I have this copied. Control Shift and this just have copied, and we can actually move, make sure we have it copied and actually have it pasted right there. And we can now scroll to that particular end. So for now, I want to remove every single thing I have right here and start all the way afresh. Okay, we have a fresh pivot table. We can start to get to what we really wanted. So for that, I'm gonna go for agents, click on it right here, and we're gonna drag the name right down so you can see what we have. And now we just don't want the roles to build like this wall bell. That is crazy. We want to go down to what, go to design, and go to report layout and show in tabular form. Right now we have the agent name, and now we have the subtotal right in here. We don't want it. So I'm just gonna make sure I have some kind of remove grand total, and now we have just formatted it the way we really wanted. This time around, when I go right for the data, I'm gonna go right to this particular data part right here and scroll all the way down to see all the measure we have just got created. For the first time, I want to get my total records or total calls right in here. And the next thing, I want to get the average time. So now I want to get the percentage of transfer calls to the transfer. I'm gonna get a percentage right here. And let's see what is the next one. So now we need to go for the offer. We just need to locate offer right here. So we have percentage of offer is what I want to use. Percentage of offer, acceptance. Okay, that is the total. So percentage of acceptance. Okay, we're gonna go down all the way down, and we want to go for applied. I want to go for applied. That is exactly what it is. So we want to go for this particular breakage right here, and we want to go for apply per call. So where is that? So we're gonna go for apply per call, total applied. When I actually look at that and see where it is, percentage of applied. Okay, I think we just need for this particular callback within to this right here. That's exactly what we need. So right now I've just gotten every single thing I needed. I can actually go ahead and have this closed. And now, before we start to create our table the way it is, so what I need to do right now is just to make sure I come to this applied right here, and I'm gonna go right and actually go ahead and see. I'm gonna all the way scroll down, Control 1. I'm gonna go to percentage, and I want to remove one decimal from it. I'm gonna click OK. Now I have some time with this. That is very swift. So now what can we do? For this particular one here, we don't need to be some kind of on this particular comma. So I'm gonna click on this particular part here. I'm gonna click on number. I want to remove this away from here, and I want to put it and just well, okay. I think for now, what I need to do is just for me to get through. So I want to cancel this for now. Okay, we need to change this particular aspect right here, which is total handle time. It's not what we want to get to use. I'm just going to go right here and say, okay, field list. And I want to go right and say, okay, for total handle, I want to actually deactivate it. And I'm going to bring this one on it. So I'm going to bring it down to this particular aspect. So this is exactly what we really wanted. So we have just gotten this right here. Beautiful. Okay, we want to go ahead and actually make sure we format this. Average handle time. Just going to make sure I use this particular. I'm going to clear this away from here. But I just make sure we just average handle time. We just want to use that particular short format. All of that. So I think I have something like this. So I want to make sure I have to format this before we get it to our main table. Already, we can actually go ahead and actually get it to our main table right here. Now, this is the part we want to get it into. What I need to do is just for me to hit my equal to. And once I've done that, I'm just going to go back here and I'm going to get this. Now we have it. So we just have to drag this all the way down to this particular aspect, and let's see what we have. Okay. So for now, we just have to click again, Ctrl A, and go in here and make sure you go say, don't move outside with cell, as I've said earlier before now. So once we've just done that, what are we going to do? I want to turn on my turn on the bars, like the headings and all that. I want to turn on those ones. I just want to see what I have right here. So for now, I'm just going to show this. I'm going to double click and have it some kind of opened. So for now, I'm just going to have to get this away from here. I want to get this away. So I want to just make sure I highlight every single thing I have right here and drag it all the way down. So from here to where I have it some kind of 0, and I'll make sure I have it some kind of cleared. So when I have this cleared away from here, we don't want this because it's not part of it. So we have to do a little bit work to get this done the way it should be. And why would that be? It's just for me to select from this particular part here. We're going to select it and go all the way all down this way. And once we've done that, we just want to go ahead and Control 1. I want to go to percentage. After percentage, just one decimal will be okay. Just remove it. I'm going to click OK. Now we have it ready. So what about this? So hold on your Control Shift and down arrow, Control 1, and put it a number, and take out all the extra decimal, and go ahead and actually say OK to it. And now we have it, right? This is beautiful, but it's not just like what we have right here. It's some kind of weird. How do we get some kind of a very nice looking table? That is the first question you have to ask yourself. How do we get this? It's something very soft and easy. Let's go ahead and get it. Okay, right here we are back right at it. So what we can do for the first time is just for we to make sure we just want to get this kind of a very, this third go better a bit. Okay, I like it. I'm gonna go right here and say, okay, go down here, something like this. Beautiful. Okay, now we've just done with that, and right here I'm gonna put on my header color. So what color do I really want for my header? This is the time to define the kind of header color I really want for my header. I'm just gonna go ahead and select it again, go back and select the kind of header color you really want for it, and now we can go for something like this. If we wanna, let's go and look at the color we have for the previous one and see this is the color we have for it. So I want to have the same color right on it. So I'm gonna go right to the top level, how down to this particular color, go and pick this dark one, and now I want to put this particular on. So okay, we go back again and take a look at what we have done. Okay, right, we want to put it on bold. Make sure you have it bold, and now we want to just check it out. This is exactly what we've done. So we are not really too cool with what we have right here. The next thing we're going to do right now is just to make sure we have it all highlighted. I'm going to actually space it out. Space it out a little bit. Okay, I have to bring it down a little bit smaller. Okay, we're not too done with it. Just make sure you bring it all the way down. I'm gonna take it and make sure it disappears a little bit. So we just have to get it away. Bring it all the way down. Okay, we just have to go, because if we have this, okay, now I'm just gonna go ahead and turn this off. Turn this off and have it turned off as well. And now you can see what we have right here is almost close to what we have in here. If I go back right now to this particular table, this is what we have. It's almost like this. So we just have to do one more thing. Okay, we just have to do one more thing. And what is that thing we're gonna do? We're gonna go back again and have this turned down. So we just have to select it back again. Select it all the way down to this aspect. I have to make sure I move it a little bit. Okay, now if we go ahead now and turn it off, so we can see what we have right here is actually the way we really wanted it. So now for this particular label is too much. So I want to go down to this particular analysis part here and go right. I'm going to turn this off for now. I'm going to have it turned off. And now for this label, we're going to actually make it shorter. I'm going to double click on it and have it right here. So what are we going to do? Okay, call back within into this, not within. So I'm going to use into this. It's a shorter description. So we're going to go ahead and say okay to it. So when we go back to what we are doing right now, we'll see that it has actually get itself updated. So now it can actually show in full. So this is what we need to do. And for this one right here, we just want to make sure we say okay for now. We're going to actually cut this away and bring it into a white color. I want to go right to my home pad and all of that. So you have to actually be very patient while you're actually formatting this the way you really want. So we are almost right there. Can you see what it is? It's almost looking like this dashboard we have created before that I'm showing you from scratch. This is awesome. Okay, what is the next thing we can do? Let's see. Okay, right on this aspect, I'm gonna hold my shift and control down, and I'm gonna go to the top level right here. Go to home. It's gonna have it on 12. So I'm gonna put it on bold. I'm gonna go all the way to this particular color and select this kind of color right for it. So now it's looking well for me. So now I want to go right for this and actually make sure I change the look of this one as well. So right on this one, I'm just gonna go ahead and actually select down to this end, control plus shift down arrow. So I'm gonna go right and actually make sure I get this particular kind of color for it. Now it's a little bit dim. I can actually say okay, fine, this is beautiful. That is exactly all I need to do. So before I do any other thing, let's see what is next for us to get into. What is next for us right now is just that we have to go control shift control 1 and go to number and say okay, just 1 decimal because we're showing it on average. Just go like this. I think I have something like that. Beautiful. Okay, so what is next for we now is just to actually make sure we have it cranked up a little bit. I'm gonna put it on 12 instead. So just go on 12. So right on 12 is really bold and okay. So it's gonna be too much. So now on 12. So the next thing we're gonna do right now is just to make sure we go to view. From view, we wanna click on the what on our header, and we have it right here. And I'm gonna go right and select all the way down. So once I've done this, I'm just gonna make sure I open it up a little bit. So can you see that? It's giving more beauty to it. So it's giving much more beauty to what we're doing. So right, this is exactly what we've done, guys. Can you see that? So our table is on the way, but we are not done from here. Go ahead and close it back again. Just turn it off and all of that. So we are not done from here. I select this and go ahead and actually make sure I give it a different color. Like it's gonna be darker than this. Can you see that? It's gonna be very much darker than what we have right here. Put it on more darker color. And right now I don't want to do it over and over again. I just have to click on this and go right here and give it to this one. No, actually make the line to some kind of distinct from the other part of it. Can you see that? That is how I create some kind of very nice looking dashboard. So this is what it is. So now we've just gotten it done. This is the last one. Okay, here we go. So after you might have done with this, what is next? You can see is getting more standout than what you're thinking. So we can go back to insert and go ahead and actually click on the shape aspect right here. I want to get this. So what do we want to use this for? But never worry, you will definitely understand what we are using this for in the jiffy. I'm going to bring it all the way down here. So let's see what we can do with this. I'm going to drag this one here down to this particular end. I'm going to drag it down to this end here. So once I've done that, what I need to do right now is just to make sure I see it's sitting right in it. Okay, I think I'm cool with what I have right now. So I'm going to go ahead and change the color to what I really wanted. I'm going to control 1. From control 1, what do I need to do? I'm just going to change the color to this particular kind of color. So I want to actually go say no outline. Once I've done that, I'm going to actually make sure I reduce it a little bit. Can you see that now? It's too much. I'm just going to make sure I have it reduced. So now we've just gotten this effect, so you can still add more to it again. Put it something like this. So we have something like this. So once we've done this, I'm gonna have it duplicated. I'm gonna have to give it to this one as well. And now we can change the color to something like this. This is how we just done it. This is how we've done it. So if I go to my main dashboard right now, we can see what we have right here is exactly what I've just gotten down. And we're about to take this dashboard to the next level. And before we finally just get this right here, I want to show you how we do this pretty formatting right here. Okay, go back to the main dashboard we are creating. So we're right here. You've just learned how to do this. I'm going to cancel this away from here. But right now I want to see where we have the higher scale. Let's see what we can actually apply to it. So Control Shift down arrow. Now you can see we go very far. So now we need to actually apply some little format on it. So little formatting on it, you get to format, and I'm gonna go ahead and choose this particular kind of format right here. I'm gonna just cool. So you can see it actually gives us where we have the highest one is actually on green, and red is actually the low point of it, and all of that. So there is one thing we have to be very, very, some kind of cool with, and what it is. Let's see what I'm talking about. Okay, now we can go back to this particular formatting part right here. So click on this and click on this particular highlight cell rows, and what we can do right now is just to go to this particular greater than right here, and once we just say okay, so I'm gonna say less than for the first time. So when a cell is less than, I'm just gonna go right back. So I'm gonna go for what? Go to less than. So any cell less than 79, what I really want for it is not just this kind of bag or some kind of color, filled color, stuff like that. I want to actually turn the text to be some kind of red. Less than will be red. So if we scroll all the way down now, you will definitely see that we have a lot of reds right here. And now I'm going to click on OK, and let's see what we have. You can see we have almost all of them. So because it's less than, we're going to have it in red, all of that. So you can see all that. So where we have it some kind of greater, this is what it's going to be. So we can actually go ahead and say, okay, now what is going to be the effect of the ones that are really high, but nothing, we don't want to apply anything, but we just have it some kind of this way. And what I'm trying to explain right here right now is this: those are the areas where we have low calls being transferred. Now I'm just showing you ways to do it, and the only one I'm going to actually have access to with right now is where we have high call offers. So let's go ahead and do this. So instead of me to use the particular way of doing it, I'm going to say, okay, now with greater than, now 92.7. So what I really want you to give to me is actually custom, and I want to customize it. So I want to give it my own type of font color. I want to go right here and say, give me this part kind of green color right here, and I'm going to make sure you bold that particular one right for me. I'm going to say, okay, fine, that's good. And now once I hit okay right now, you can see it's actually stand out from the crowd, and this is exactly what it is. So now that we've just gotten this done, what is next for us is just to make sure we have this duplicated. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to have to make sure I bring it all the way down, okay, to this one, and copy it all the way down all through till we get to the end, and that's exactly what you need to do. So once you've done that, you're going to have something like this. And now we are not really done from here. As you can see, I'm scrolling all the way through and it's going down, and we'll get into another part of this analysis where we have the team leaders. So let us go and create the team leaders. It's very simple, very easy, just like the previous one. So all we need to do is just to do a little bit trick on the previous one. So go down to analysis, and from analysis, I'm just going to go ahead and actually say shift or control shift arrow down as well, have it copied, and now we just have to paste it somewhere and just make a little trick on it. So I'm gonna have it pasted right here, and once I've done this, I'm gonna make sure I put on my what? I'm gonna be putting on my field list. Just go ahead, field list, right back. So now for the total for this particular agent, I'm gonna remove it. I'm gonna go to the team leader. I'm gonna have to bring in my team leader right in here, and that's exactly what we need to do. So we go straight down, and we just have to scroll all the way down to where this one ends. So here we go. I want to actually keep a little, some kind of space for it. And now we just have to put on our equal to, and we go back and visit this particular place again, and now we hit on it. That's exactly what it is. So we can actually go ahead and actually drag this down to the end of this here. So we just got this created. I'm gonna actually make sure it goes down. So for this one, we have no value right on it. We just have to clear it away. So we just have to clear this away because we don't have any value right on it. So we go ahead and clear it away. Okay, fine. What we need to do for the next thing we need to do right now is just we need to copy the format right on this one, but we can't do it on every part of it because we have some actually formatting right in it. So all I need to do is just make sure I click on the single value and go ahead and actually go get it down right here. I'm gonna go ahead and actually make sure the value is being right at it. So right now it's turning those 22% for me, which is not what I'm cool with. I'm just gonna go ahead and actually make sure I turn it to what I really wanted. Okay, for this is okay, for this is not really okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again. Number and the separator will be on it, no extra decimal. Click OK. Now for this one right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and say copy. I'm gonna give it down to this as well. Oh god. Okay, just gonna go ahead and actually copy this. Okay, fine. I think the header should not be affected by this time. The header doesn't need to be affected. So we can actually go ahead and grab the headers. Go ahead and copy this. And go all the way down. So now we need to do the formatting. Just go ahead and turn this back. So we just have to. That's beautiful. Just click on this. Okay, fine. We've just gotten something like this. And if we go back, it's just similar to what we have right here. So now go and do the formatting and get something like this because already you've been given the go ahead to do it, like by me showing you what it is that you have to do. Don't worry about the filter. We'll have the filter right in it, and it will be very, very much dynamic as what we have right here. We can actually get to see what it is, and we can hide our filter back again, all of that. So let us see what we can do next to make sure we have some kind of freeze. The freezing aspect is very simple, very simple. I mean, absolutely simple. So I'm gonna go back right to this particular part we're actually creating. The workbook is here. So we're gonna scroll. Every single time we scroll, it all disappears. We don't want that to happen. So all we need to do is just want to actually make sure we freeze it from here. And what we can do now, we just go to what? Go to view, and we go to where we call freeze pens. So we just go ahead and say freeze. Let's see what's going on. Can you see that? We've just done it. It's working. It's working for us. It's working. So we still have a little stuff to add, and we're gonna add it. It's very simple, very easy. We're just gonna add it. So we've spent almost 1 hour 20 something minutes right now on this. So I'm gonna say, well, let us cut it right here, and the next video we're gonna begin the next part of it. So the Power BI is still right there for us to start creating. So just actually go ahead and actually watch the Power BI expert to see what we're doing right here. And that is an amazing part. Very simple, very easy. It's just gonna be some kind of a walkover because already we've learned a lot. Not much formula to be written. It's just a little tweak and all that, and we just make it very much dynamic, just like what we have right here. And do not forget Power BI if you're still watching. We are going to be right back on the Power BI version as well. So go ahead and watch the Power BI. Click on the playlist and actually start watching. So thank you very much for being there for me, guys. I really love this time with you guys. Okay, go ahead and smash the like button, and as well leave a like, comment, and what I want most is actually you hit that little bell right there so that every single time I drop a new video, you will definitely get notified. So thank you